And we are back, and as you can see on the screen right now, we have updated scores. Solar did take down Big Gabe himself. It wasn't easy. It did go all the way to the ace match in the lower semifinals. Again, if you want to have a look at that series and those VODs, the entire series was casted by Pig, Rotterdam, Steadfast, Chicken Man, and Jim Jimena Rising, except for game one. So yes, they did all cover that series, but now we are all converging here into the grand finals. We were, of course, able to cast Astrea versus Parting, and it was a very impressive showing by Astrea, but now we are going into a completely different matchup entirely. Oh boy. We have casted plenty of Solar in his ZvPs, especially in ESL Open Cup Asia. Solar is typically one of the representatives of Zerg in that tournament, in that weekly event, and Solar struggles a little bit against Protoss. Not going to lie. As Solar, he is of the mantra of don't let the game go more than 10 minutes. He typically goes for these timing attacks. He tries to end the game as soon as possible, whether it's with Queen Red Ravager pushes, whether it with its Hydra timings or these Hydra Viper timings. He tries to end the game as soon as possible when he's up against Skytoss. And we see a lot of Skytoss play in Korea. And that's what I'm curious about, because again, we don't cast that much Astrea in this turn on the CranKy Ducklings. Every now and then he shows up for ESL Americas, but honestly, it's not that common. So yeah, because of that, I'm curious. Astrea, what does he do? What does he go for, I should say, in this matchup? Does he embrace the Skytoss, or is he more of a ground-focused army? Does he go for like Charge the Archon? Does he go for Blink Stalker timings instead? Like does he go for Glaive Adepts? There are other ways to play out this series, to play out this matchup, I should say. It isn't just Skytoss. That's what I'm curious about. As we set up the final predictions of the day, it is going to be a ZvP, Astrea versus Solar. There we go. 5 minutes. Boom. Place your bets. Let's go. Start your predictions. Put your money, put your channel points where your mouth is. Who do you think has this, Astrea or Solar? Again, there's a 2-minute delay, so what I just said is could influence what you go for. But again, like, you know, if there are any people in the chat who are a little bit more familiar with Astrea's play, maybe they've been able to see Astrea in World Team League or in some of these other Alpha X events, in these other Alpha X show matches. I do know that's typically where Astrea resides. Maybe you're able to shed some light on his play. Regardless, we're about to get into it. As we get into the grand finals here, best of 5 ZvP, Korea versus North America. I'm in PA. Pennsylvania? Is that PA? I'm trying to think of what else PA could be. Pennsylvania. So that's all I got. Look, my knowledge on American cities is quite limited, as I've never been to America before. But here we go. We are spawning in on Lightshade LE, and in the top left hand corner we have our South Korean Zerg player representing KZ Gaming. KZG. It is the red Zerg. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the American Protoss. He is blue, representing Team Alpha X. It is Astrea. Max Angel himself. Oh boy. How will this series play out? A lot of it is gonna come down to Astrea. It's gonna be on how he dictates the pace of the game. What tech will he go for? That will kind of, you know, lead Solar on. You know, will Solar end up going for those queen pushes, for those Hydra timings? It'll all depend on what Solar sees and what he scouts. Boy. And so far, pretty standard opening. Hatch gas pool from Solar. We are on Lightshade, and Lightshade is a pretty small map. It does have a very short rush distance, so because of that, a lot of people do favor Zerg here. Zerg pushes can hit a lot harder, a lot faster. When I say Zerg pushes specifically, I mean any ground focus push, whether it's a Hydra timing or a Queen push. There's not that much ground to cover, so they can go across the map pretty quickly. So things can be a little bit scary here for Astrea. Obviously the third base can be relatively well defended. The fourth, well, this low ground base is very much so exposed. And even if Astrea does go for a Skytoss opening, like obviously if you go very quickly into disruptors can shut down Roach Ravager Queen pushes. If that is what's coming his way. We'll see. There's a lot of speculation going on right now, on my part at least. We'll see. As we should see a third base coming down relatively soon here for Solar. Astrea, he's just kind of checking with his probe, did scout, and we do see the first tech of the series is a Stargate. So we do have a Stargate opening coming out here from Astrea. Now we'll see what happens from here, because in Korea we have seen Oracle openings become very popular. I do know that in the West it's still, we're still in the Void Ray stage of the meta. When it comes to Europe, I'm not too sure. Europa. Not entirely sure. I do know that Astrea mainly ladders on EU, not so much NA. We'll see if it's a Void Ray or an Oracle. And if it's an Oracle, how many? Because again, the double and triple Oracle openings have become a lot more popular recently. Again, amongst Korean players. I've even seen a couple of Europeans go for it as well. The value in that is, of course, you get 3 Oracles, 2 to harass. The third one is to make sure you clear up any lings at the third base and defend at home. You're also able to get a lot of scouting information, use Revelation, maybe even snowball a little bit and get a lot of worker kills. Or we could just see 1 into a Void Ray, but no, so far we do see 2. And what's interesting to me is that Astrea is keeping his first Oracle at home. He wants to go out across the map with 2 at once. He doesn't want to show his hand too early. Meanwhile, Solar, he's just getting ready for anything. We have a Spore here at the natural. If we quickly check his vision, he has not gone into the main base, but he does have Lings patrolling in case a Sky unit does leave, and ooh, he will spot both Oracles. Nicely done there by Solar. We'll see if he responds. Right now, he does send his queens towards the third base. He hasn't been able to dive in quite yet. We do have a Roach Warren on the way. So again, this is all pretty standard. Like, this would even shut down Glaive Adepts. We do have 2 queens here at the natural base. So these Oracles shouldn't deal too much damage, to be honest. Yep, they get pushed away. 2 kills. Ooh, oh my god, no! Oracle, where were you going? Oh my god, one of the Oracles does go down essentially for free. The other one barely manages to escape. 3 drone kills so far. Meanwhile, the Lynx did go across the map to try and shut down this third base. So far, the SimCity is pretty good. Ooh, good force fields. And it looks like Astrea should be able to hold on just barely to his third. Oh, but maybe I spoke too soon. But here comes the Oracle. Just in time to defend. So Astrea, nicely held, that third base is, and we see a switch into a more ground heavy composition. +1 is on the way. We'll see if from here Astrea goes into Blink or Charge. Both do work. I kind of appreciate Blink Stalkers, Blink +1. I love it, and there we go. That's what it is. Again, this has risen in popularity recently, especially off of this Oracle opening. It does very well against Roach Ravager. Decent Revelation, and Roach Ravager is what is coming out here for Solar. What's interesting is that Astrea is taking up in a couple of different directions, as the mineral line is a little bit exposed. But he isn't just getting +1 Blink, he is also getting a Dark Shrine. So I quickly check the vision here for Solar. Solar hasn't gone in yet, but he will, as the Overseer is looking to dive into the main base, and it should be able to see all the tech and the Dark Shrine. Are we going to see a cancel? Is what I'm curious about. Is it worth committing to the Dark Shrine after he gets scattered like this? How confident is Astrea with His control, not at all. I love it. Respect is shown here. Astrea, he gets scouted. He knows he got scouted. He's like, mate, Solar is a good enough player. I'm not going to be able to find anything with this. I'm going to cancel. I'm not going to commit. I'm not going to waste. I'm not going to throw away resources like that. So really well done. I love the decision making there by Astrea. It shows that he isn't stubborn either. There are definitely some Protoss players or some players in general where if they commit to a tech and if they get scattered early on, they just commit even harder. they're like, you know what? I don't care that you've seen what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it anyway because it's what my original plan was. So it shows that Astrea is a little bit more fluid, which is always great to see. Meanwhile, yeah, plenty of Blink Stalkers here. +1 is done, +2 is on the way. We have a Robotics Bay being thrown down. I imagine this is going to be for Disruptors, not Colossus. Disruptors are going to do very well here against the ground heavy composition of Solar, even against things like Hydras and Lurkers later on, if that is what Solar goes for. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for. What is the next step for Solar? I don't think Aspire would do well here. There are definitely times where Muta switches can do wonders, but against +1 Blink Stalkers, Mutas would just fall on its face. It would not do well. Going into Lurkers is kind of what I would love to see, but it looks like Solar wants to max out on Roach Ravager. He wants to commit to this army and maybe hit with +1. Ducklings are going to be hitting the 4th base. Again, Solar's going to try and force the army out of position. The Ravagers do get tagged, so do the Queens, so Astrea is well aware of where the main army is. Meanwhile, he did send a couple of Stalkers there towards the south. Again, this army is revealed. Astrea does see where it goes, and he does cancel his 4th. Queens are here. Astrea, a little bit supply blocked. Ooh, heavily supply blocked. 4 pylons on the way. Aye. Disruptor, though, it does just barely come out. He does have 2. He has to be careful. 2 shield batteries here. Overcharge is available. 1 shot goes off. Ooh, only gets 1 Ravager. Another shot does go off, but it does miss. And that's all the shots that Astrea has. Force fields do keep Solar at bay for now. Solar does throw down an infestation, but he is looking to go into Hive. He is looking to go into those Vipers. Vipers are the answer to Disruptors. A couple of abducts, and you just shut them down completely. Which is why I'm a little bit worried for Solar at the moment. Sorry, for Astrea. Solar, he's getting ready to go into Hydra Lurker Viper. Astrea is still stuck on Blink Stalkers and Disruptors. Like, you need High Templar. You're gonna need Storm and feedbacks. Or Skytoss. You need you can't be stuck on this. Maybe he can be. We'll see if he proves me wrong, as he does push deep into creep here. 1 Disruptor shot goes off. 3 more are available. Oh god, 1 Disruptor gets caught out of position, but a beautiful shot. But now there are only 2 Disruptors remaining. War Prism does finally show up. You know, he can help micro and save those Disruptors, keep them alive. Meanwhile, another Ling run by. Astrea, he's trying to get this 4th up, but it's just not happening. Solar, he's just so on point with his Ling harass. And Zelsa warped in, but yep, cancel is forced. Meanwhile, the main armies are kind of missing each other. Solar has to respond to this, and there we go, he does turn around. Lurkers are on the way, and that's the terrifying thing right now. Oh god. A couple of Lings do try and get on top of those Disruptors. Beautiful shots off right now on those Ravagers. Oh my god, they all go down. But there are 2 Lurkers here in the middle of all of this, and there is no detection. Oh my god. Oh no, the Disruptors, please! Astrea, what the hell? What just happened? He just sent 2 Disruptors to their death. Another goes down. Oh my god, Solar doesn't even need Vipers. Every single Disruptor gets taken out. I don't know what happened. Astrea like blanked out for a moment there. Ay, and just like that, how many in total? 6 Disruptors have gone down this game. That's too much. Now, finally, Astrea, now that he has a little bit of room to breathe, he's like, okay, I need something else. Templar Archives gets thrown down so he can go into those High Templar and Storm. But at this point, it's a little bit too late. He lost a lot of high-tech units, and he has to wait a long time for his High Templar. Oh god. trying to be as aggressive as he can with what little he has. Meanwhile, another Ling run by. This time there are Zealots to defend, so Astrea should be able to hold on to his 4th base. At the same time, War Prism does get into the main, but it gets immediately abducted and shut down. Ooh, a kill on the 5th base of Solar. Astrea finally finding some damage. No! These disruptors, mates! Change control groups or something. Get them out of there. Oh god, they're just walking into their deaths as one may go down, and the Ling roaches are counterattacking across the map. Thankfully, again, there are Zealots here to meet them. One of the disruptors did fall. Oh wait, no, none of the disruptors have gone down yet. 2 shots go off. Vipers are here. Vipers are looking for those abducts. They're looking for those yoinks. Ooh, 1 Viper gets taken out. Good shot. Not amazing, but good. Next one misses. Solo's not feeling it. He does back off. He's not feeling confident, especially without any energy on his Vipers. I don't blame him, especially with only 1 Viper. Ideally, you have a couple more than that. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. 4 is maybe a little bit too much. But Solar does back off, and now Astrea can rest easy because Storm is complete. High Templar are going to be coming out. There we go, or 3 already. Plenty of disruptors here. Astrea's army is looking a lot better. I would love to see him start throwing down some Stargates though. A nice switch into Sky Toss would be great. He's thinking the same thing. There we go. We do see +1 flyer attack, Fleet Beacon, and 2 Stargates. Oh god. You could argue maybe this could have been thrown down a little bit sooner, but yo, Astrea is completely out of position. His army is just not here. Oh god. He sent his entire army to deal with 1 lurker, and Solar takes that opportunity. He does siege up here on the high ground. Looks like the Stalkers will deal with the Hydras on the low ground. Decent storms. These lurkers are exposed. Oh my god, beautiful connections there. All the lurkers are going down. This was actually really poorly executed by Solar. Yeah, off of this, like, Astrea should be fine. This is a pretty big loss. Finally, all these things get cleaned up, and to be fair, I'm surprised that this lurker has stayed alive for this long. Oh my god, there's a couple more disruptors who get taken out. Oh my god, these 2 disruptors are so exposed, they're gonna go down! Ah, they both get picked off. Despite the awful engagement, like, Solar does trade very well. The Vipers! No! No, the Vipers! No! Oh god, Solar distracted by a massive Zealot warp in here in his main base and at the 4th. God, the Lurker Den just barely stays alive. Meanwhile, looks like +3 will stay alive as well, so this is getting pretty scrappy between these 2. There's chaos all over the place. Solar, he does defend at home. Again, what was awkward about this fight that Solar took is that all the Hydras were here on the low ground, if you recall. I know there was a lot going on, but the Lurkers, they got sieged up here on the high ground, and all the Hydras were kind of isolated and fragmented. They should have been there to support those Lurkers and keep them alive, but everything was split up for Solar, and he was picked apart. Very questionable engagement there by Solar. I thought it was amazing that he caught Astrea out of position, and he did. To be fair, he did catch him out of position, but Solar wasn't in position either. It's kind of weird. Meanwhile, oh my god, a couple more lurkers get picked off for free. I say get picked off for free. I say get there we go. 2 go down. Nice trade there. Meanwhile, we have a couple more lurkers coming in towards the north. He's trying to collapse into one of these High Templar. The High Templar are forced to turn into Archons. No more storms available. Oh my god, and despite the earlier blunder, it looks like Solar is going to be able to take this engagement. 2 carriers do pop out, and the carriers will be like crucial here in the defense, but the lurkers once again get on the high ground. Once again, gets on that 3rd. God, Astrea just can't keep giving up this position. It's happened twice now, and every single time it's devastating. Oh god. Carriers should be able to clean up the lurkers. There's no detection in position currently, and damage is being done. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there is another Zealot run by. It looks like the top left-hand base, or the 4th base, will go down for Solar, but at the same time, this 3rd will also fall for Astrea. Come on, carriers, get in there. What? I guess he's trying to catch reinforcements, which leaves him out in the open. I had to know about this one, mate. Oh, the carriers are forced back. Oh no, he's gonna lose one of them. Carrier does fall. The movement was questionable. He does pull back though, but there's so many Hydras here. Disruptors are coming in to save the day though. Oh. Only one lurker goes down. And this is dangerous. Without any storm, like Hydras can deal a lot of damage when they don't have to worry about AoE. When they don't have to worry about splash damage. And here we go. Here come the Hydras. Nice joint there on the carrier. Solar with a lot of momentum here, looking to take down this fourth base of Astrea, and it looks like it will go down. Astrea going for a counterattack with the carriers. Ugh, a bit of a desperation move, I feel here. What I guess he can pull the army back, but these lurkers should be able to kill every single mining base of Astrea, and they will. Everything here goes down. Carriers are across the map. They're about to get surrounded. They will all fall. Only 2 carriers remaining. Forces a recall. And 45 probes have gone down. 46. 47. 48. 48. 48. 49. 49. There's 1 probe left. Think about. It looks like Astrea will keep that 1 lone probe alive and the Nexus alive, which is honestly pretty big. And Astrea is fighting relatively well here with his carriers, but if you notice, he is running out of interceptors. He is straight up running out of DPS. And the Hydras will break him. GG gets called. And Solar takes game 1. Legitimia, silver micro, ay. I mean, both players had their ups and had their downs in that game. You know, they had their high points and they had their lows. But GG, Solar does take it in the end. Yeah, Astrea with his army movements. Oh god, he just kept leaving that ramp open and just kept allowing those lurkers to just get up that ramp. There was some nice counter damage being done, you know, with those Zealot Warpins, to be fair, but in the end it wasn't enough. GG gets called and Solar takes the lead in the series. Does Solar have a Spire, mate? You don't need Spire. You do, but you don't need Spire if your opponent doesn't have High Templar. If your opponent doesn't have Storm, mate, just Hydra it up. Just Hydra Viper. That's what you need. Well, I guess Lurker as well. Hydra, Lurker, Viper. At a certain point, Hydra, Lurker, Viper does fall off, for sure. And you do need Spire, you do need Corruptors. But Astrea didn't get to the point where Solar needed to tech switch. And now we are diving into game number 2. Oh boy, hopefully Astrea can bring it together here, because I kind of expect better. Maybe that was just game number 1, maybe there were just nerves there. Come on, let's go. Game 2, shake it off. As we are diving into Oxide LE and spawning in the top right hand corner of Oxide LE. We have the South Korean Zerg player. He is red, representing KZ Gaming. KZG. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide, we have the North American Hope, the NA Hope himself, representing Alpha X. It's the Blue Protoss. It is Astrea. He took down Parting. He took down Parting to get here into the grand finals. He's an amazing player. He can definitely take it to someone like Solar. But we'll see. We'll see if he can pull it together here in game number 2. What are our openings going to be? We're on Oxide, so on a map like Oxide, it is easier to defend on 3 bases. Compared to Lightshade. It isn't anywhere near as open. We have plenty of high ground here as well. There's some nice choke points. It can be very difficult for a Zerg player to really force the issue. So I favor Astrea a little bit more on this map compared to Lightshade, but we'll see. We'll see. It does also depend on what he goes for. Last game he did go for a double Oracle into +1 Blink Stalker opener, which can be great, and it almost worked, I guess. But Oxide is a map where I wouldn't be opposed to double Stargate Void Ray, to be honest. Into Disruptor. We'll see. We'll see. As both players are slowly opening up here. Rotating solo. Yaku, get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to class, Yaku. Oh, God. If you want to understand what Yaku is on about, I'm always low. Legit TV, please. There's a clip. There's a clip on our Discord server. You know what? Since we have a little bit of downtime, let me just post that clip here in our Twitch channel of Yaku and his historic knowledge, question mark. Hold on. Hold on. Here's part 1. And here's part 2. Enjoy in the chat. Feel like it's necessary. As we are getting into game 2, here we go. Astrea does open up once again with the Stargates. And we'll see, is it going to be a Void Ray or an Oracle? Or is he going to do something crazy and go Phoenix? We're about to find out. As at the moment, an Adept does show up, is forced away by the Queen. Protect the Queen. And everything is pretty kind of normal. To have a decent amount of Lings out here for solo, but he's just being safe because he wants to deal with these Adepts. Adepts are forced to recall, and they come back home, and here we go. Void Ray first for Astrea. Now this opens things up. A lot of possibilities. This could be a Void Ray into a second Void Ray into another Stargate, into Mass Void Ray. This could be a Void Ray into Twilight Council, right? Into Glaive Adepts. And honestly, we have a decent amount of Adepts right now, so it's possible. It's possible that he could be looking to go into Glaives. Ooh, a second Void Ray. Interesting. Is this just for show? Solar sees it. Is there a cancel? So far, no cancel. Still a decent amount of Adepts. So far, they are just to defend. And from here, we'll see if there's a second Stargate, or if he still goes for that Twilight Council. Because again, decent amount of Adepts. Glaiveless Adepts, by the way. Let's go. Do you have a Roach Warren on the way here for Solar to defend against potential Twilight Council? Again, Solar's in the dark right now. He doesn't know if there are Glaive Adepts coming. If he did, I mean, he'd be half right. Meanwhile, ooh, every single one of these queens, no more transfuse. First queen goes down. Oh, I spoke too soon. It survived. How? Same time, Void Ray does come in, trying to focus down the gas. Oh my god, do you commit and try and kill both queens? Tempting. Very tempting. Doesn't commit. Gas did go down, and we do have a Twilight Council and a Forge being thrown down. This does get scouted by Solar. Solar was able to keep one of his Overlords hidden for the longest time. So nicely done there by Solar. Meanwhile, second Void Ray shows up. He will get the Overlord. And this is just so well played by Solar. Again, just... What's up, Neo? Shout out to Neo in the chat. One of the Ducklings. Oh my god, massive Bling run by. Ugh, the wall is a wall though, and there is a Void Ray in the sky. But yeah, so this is really well played by Solar. It's so difficult keeping an Overlord alive for a second scout. It is so difficult, especially against a Void Ray opening. Thankfully, the Void Rays were out of position. They didn't find the Overlord, so Solar was able to somehow get in and scout. He confirms that once again it's +1 Blink Stalker. And this could just be Astrea's go-to in this matchup. We saw him go for it in game 1. He got there in a different way, in a more efficient way, going for Oracles first and then Blink Stalkers. this game he's going Void Ray into Blink Stalker. You know, obviously it takes a little bit longer because there's a bit more of a gas investment in these Void Rays. Oh my god. Void Ray, please. Does back off. And interesting, despite seeing, so this is a Chad move from Solar. Despite seeing the Blink Stalkers, despite seeing the Stargate opening, he still goes Muta. Thankfully for Solar, Astrea has not seen this. And because of that, Solar can dive on top of these Void Rays and take them out. He can dive into a mineral line and take that out. Astrea has the tools to defend, but like he doesn't know that he needs the tools. So they're like in the shed, you know? Like they're not anywhere nearby. So there's a lot of potential with these Muta. Oh, did he just see them? Oh, hard to say, hard to say. He did! He saw them! He knows! The Mutas, they try to focus down the Void Rays will be able to escape. No Void Rays fall. Meanwhile, across the map, cannons are being thrown down in the mineral line. Astrea is getting ready for the defense. Honestly, a bit of a blunder there by Solar, like to reveal his hand a little bit early. I don't think it was necessary for them to go after the Void Rays. Looks like they will get one. Up. Does get one Void Ray. Oh, at the cost of a Muta. But there are not enough Stalkers here, not yet, to deal with this Muta cloud. As there are 13 Mutas in total. Ooh, another Void Ray goes down. Do we not have +1? No, we do have +1. Okay. Yeah, these Mutas are they're just sturdy. They just be built different. A little bit anyway. As we have nothing but Ling Muta here. He's committing to the Mutas, by the way, just continuing to pump them out. +1 is done as well, or it's about to finish up in a couple of seconds. I'm honestly surprised we don't see any Phoenixes, not gonna lie. Even though there's a Stargate, we haven't seen a switch into that. Astrea, he's just relying on nothing but Blink Stalkers. Oh. Oh, Disruptor Shot does get his own Adept. Behind this Solar, he's expanding, he's taking his 4th. I should say 5th, my apologies. There we go, +1 fire attack finally on the way. Second Stargate finally. Phoenix finally. Oh my god. Astrea delayed them for quite some time. I think he wasn't sure that there was going to be a massive commitment into those Mutas. Finally, he does realize the position he's in. And I don't know if I like this from Solar. Solar's committing hard to this fight. I mean, the Lings are going to get cleaned up. The Mutas are trading well, I guess, but he's going to lose a lot here. Oh my god. I mean, never mind. The Mutas are actually trading phenomenally. Jesus Christ. Every single Void Ray goes down. Now the Mutas will just wreak havoc here at the 3rd. I'm just impressed with like how few of these Mutas went down. Like they're starting to overwhelm Astrea. These Mutas are insane. They're crazy. They're winning the fight. There are not enough Stalkers. And again, it took him a long time to switch to Phoenixes. Now there are 2, but 2 are not enough. This could just be it. My god, the Mutas, they're just dealing so much damage. Every single Stalker goes down. There's only 2 Phoenixes. The Disruptor gets picked off. And Solar, he just overwhelms Astrea. GG. Solar takes the lead 2-0 in this series. God, it took Astrea a really long time to switch into Phoenixes. I just think he didn't fully comprehend what was coming his way. He's like, oh yeah, Mutas, that's fine. Instead, he should have been like, oh my god, Mutas, this is not fine. This is like, there's a lot of Mutas, mate. It was a massive commitment. I'm sure he thought there was only going to be a couple of Mutas just for harass a little bit, and then Solo would just switch into a more ground heavy composition. But after he saw all those Lings, he should have realized what was going on, and it took him a long time to respond and take the threat seriously. Boy, now we're diving into game 3, potentially the final game of the night. Just watching the apocalypse of mutas just wreak havoc, mate. Here we go. Game 3. 2,000 atmospheres. Oh boy. Astrea, game 3, is this the one where you whip out the sky toss? That's my question. Because again, typically Solar struggles against players like Zest and Trap and even Stats when Stats was playing. When they did kind of like quote unquote abuse that sky toss style. Even last week, I say less than a week ago, we casted Solar versus Zest. I say less than a week ago, it was like 2 days ago. And yes, Solar did struggle there. But again, it's because, you know, Zest wasn't going for a ground focused army all the time. This player up here has had a little bit more freedom. In the top right hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, ALE, the South Korean Zerg player. He's red, representing KaiZ Gaming. It is Solar. Uno más, just needs one more. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, ALE, we have the American Protoss. He's blue, representing Alpha X. He needs your support, people in the chat, to bring it back. Because if he's going to win this, it has to be a reverse sweep. Massive challenge ahead of him. It is Astrea. Respect the mutas, mate. There was a period where we had to respect the Void Rays. And to be fair, we still do need to respect the Void Rays, especially in recent time. In current year. But also, mutas also must be respected, mate. Can't just rely on Blink Stalkers and nothing but Blink Stalkers. It's gotta be more to it. Phoenixes, Archons, Phoenixes, mainly Phoenixes. Not Disruptors, oh boy. But we'll see what Astrea has in store for us here. Again, to be fair, Astrea doesn't want to reveal everything. I'm sure Astrea has some cheeky, unorthodox builds for DreamHack. I'm sure he does. I'm sure right now he's playing a lot more standard. DreamHack is starting in less than 24 hours for North America, so of course that is what Astrea is mainly focused on. But regardless, like again, an ESL Open Cup, especially with the recent prize boosts, like it does have an impact, especially if you're trying to go full time. So there's a lot of money here. And we'll see who takes that money. Who walks away with a little bit less. As there we go, once again we have a Stargate Opener. We've seen some Oracles, we've seen some Void Rays. We haven't seen a big commitment to the sky though, and judging from the first 2 games, I have to imagine it's just something that Astrea is just not really interested in. I guess it's a stylistic choice, you know, not really one for the skies. Maybe he's afraid of heights, you know, wants to be closer to the ground. Wasn't Zest rushing carriers in those games? He was going double Stargate into Fleet Beacon. Not every game, but in a lot of those games. Kind of forcing Solar to be all in early on to stop the mass carrier. But that's what I mean, like you don't have to go double Stargate into carrier, you can go double Stargate into Void Ray and then into carrier. Like there are other ways to play it out, other ways to go sky toss. Zest even whipped out some Glaive Adepts in his series against Solar. That's something that we still haven't seen from Astrea. I'm not saying I want to see Glaive Adepts this game, I'm just saying that for game 1 and game 2, more or less, Astrea has gone for the same style. Take my energy, Astrea. Here we go. Void Ray first into an Oracle. Okay. Switching things up a little bit, going straight into that third base. When is Zest going to the army? I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Zest is due this year, sometime this year. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is Zest's last full year competing. We are getting people back. For those wondering, and for those who are not in the Heroes Discord, CJ Enters Hero is returning to StarCraft. He actually just finished up his military service and he has been laddering. So we're getting CJ Hero back. Classic is on his way back as well. SKT Classic. Meanwhile, ooh, this Void Ray really wants his gas. It's gonna be worth his life though. Oh my god. Doesn't even get the gas and it gets picked up. Ay, ay, ay. Max, please. Maxi boy, please. Oh god, he does lose the Void Ray. Not a good start here. Big investments. And it looks like once again he wants to go into +1 Blink Stalkers. It's his bread and butter. It's what he does in this matchup. Meanwhile, here comes the Oracle. Throws down a stasis, gets one worker, and does back off. Boy, not gonna lie, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit concerned for Astrea. Oh, he's actually mixing things. Oh my god, okay, never mind. So it looks normal, which I love this. I like, because of how Astrea has played out game 1 and game 2, this looks like +1 Blink Stalkers. This is +1 charge. And Solar hasn't seen the Templar Archives yet. He's about to though, and when he sees the Templar Archives, he will know what's happening. Yep. Solar, he's just so on point with his scouting. But maybe I spoke too soon. Changeling, please, Changeling, go to the right. He still hasn't seen it. Oh god, Changeling goes down. Despite morphing in an Overseer, Solar doesn't see the Templar Archives, and that's the tell. That's the tell that it's going to be Chargelets and Archons. So Solar's in the dark a little bit. He is going Roach Ravager. He is going for a fast Infestation Pit, which is interesting. Against Protoss, is Solar the kind of player to go for Swarm Host? That's what I'm curious about. Obviously, the standard thing to do is to go into Hive and get Vipers out, right? But we have seen some Zerg players go Swarm Host in ZvP. We'll see. Oh, Archons have been revealed. Solar knows. He throws down that Hydra Den. So he's going to be going Hydra, Lurker, Viper. There it is. Hive is on the way. Oh boy, oh boy. This does not bode well. Typically when you go Chargelot Archon, you want to try and hit a timing early on. Again, there's no Banelings and there's very little Roach Ravager. You want to be able to hit your opponent before Lurkers come into play. But because Solar was so fast, so very fast with his Infestation Pit, like the Lurker Den, it's being thrown down. Like Astrea needs to do something soon, and he knows it. That's why he's here with his Warp Prism. He's trying to go for some multi-prong, but the Roaches are here to defend the 4th base of Solar. Astrea is being forced back. This is terrifying. Now the Zerg player can do whatever he wants. Now he can safely get into his Lurkers and get into his Vipers. We do see a little bit of harassment. Meanwhile, the Roach Ravager is going across the map. The defensive advantage is pretty good here for Astrea. Nice force field. Astrea is looking pretty good. Show me another force field. There it is. Astrea holds at the same time. This War Prism still hasn't done anything. There we go. Finally, some Zealots come in, but Lings just made it in. Oh my god, a massive Warp in of Zealots. Jesus Christ. And with this, yo, can they take down the base? Never mind, they go for Workers instead. Even a gas because of why not. In the end, these Zealots will be cleaned up. They didn't get that many worker kills. At the same time, ooh, the Blink Stalkers are pushing out towards the 4th base. Bold move. I have to be careful how deep in the creep you go. And I approve of this. Astrea is going to Skytos. He's not staying on Archon Charged Disruptor for too long. He wants to get into that Skytoss composition. Problem is that Solar already beat him there. Solar, he's got Hive. He's working on his Lurker upgrades. If I'm not wrong, there we go. We have a Viper as well. Only one, which isn't great. We could do with a couple more. But Solar, he's getting his ideal army composition. Not ideal late game, but for current like stage of the game, like this is what he wants. As soon as he deals with this War Prism, he's just gonna go across the map and roll over Astrea. To be fair, Solar's taking a lot of time to deal with this War Prism. He just needs to yoink a couple of times. There we go. There we go. War Prism goes down. At the same time, we do have a small army here for Astrea. Again, he has to be careful not to get surrounded, because now Solar can focus his entire attention to the attack. A random War Prism? Random Disruptor? Astrea, please? Oh god, no, it's happening again. The attack is coming across the map. Carriers are on the way, but they're not ready yet. Here comes the Roach Ravager. And look, mate, oh god, the Disruptor shot is pretty juicy. Ravagers do go down. And Solar, he's second guessing himself. He's not feeling too confident pushing up this ramp. And this is a very good sign for Astrea, because now Astrea has his carriers. That carrier count, it's getting slowly higher and higher. And as the carrier count gets higher, the less effective Hydras are. Because you know what? You will need Corruptors. Not right now, but soon. Meanwhile, here comes the Roach Ravager. Ooh, Disruptor shot goes off. Again, how many Vipers are with this army? 3. There's 3 Hydras are with this army. 4 now. About to be 5. Like, that's not enough for the carriers. Solar, he gets pushed away. And there we go. Astrea has successfully survived, and we are going to the late game. Spire is on the way. +3 is on the way. More Vipers are on the way. And I kind of want to give the edge to Astrea here. Again, Solar hates playing late game ZvP. He absolutely despises it. So I think Astrea has a good chance here. He still needs to refine his army. High Templar are on the way. Storm is halfway done. Not just High Templar, we do also need some Void Rays. Void Rays are to protect the carriers from Corruptors. At the moment, the only thing really protecting the carriers are the Blink Stalkers and the Archons on the ground. It's okay, but it's not ideal. And now Astrea is pushing out on the map. Ooh, Oracle gets picked off. Didn't get a revelation. Hello, Lurker. Oh my god. Okay, Lurker gets picked off. And again, the anti-air is still lacking here. There are a lot of Hydras, and to be fair, Hydras can go toe-to-toe with the Interceptors, but they have to be careful because of these Disruptors. And I like this. Ultra Cavern is on the way. Like, Solar, he's getting all the tech he needs. Now it's about slowly transitioning his army. This is dangerous as a Zerg player. Right now, Solar is maxed out. And he's maxed out with a less than ideal army. And he knows that. He needs to slowly transition into something better, into Corruptors. But if you throw away too much too quickly, then the Protoss player will just roll you over. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with how you tech up and how you fight and how you trade. Meanwhile, here we go. We have a Spore Forest for Solar. Astrea is slowly encroaching upon the Zerg base. Nice Storm. We have another Storm available. Not too many, though. I do think that eventually you want to get rid of these Disruptors, though, and replace them with High Templar. Or again, Void Rays. Here come the Corruptors and more Lurkers. Oh. More disruptor shots go off, more value is being gotten. Solo goes for a bit of a run by. The Zealot does see it at the Zelnaga. What's scary is that right now Astrea doesn't have any supply to warp in any units defensively, so this fourth base will be forced to be cancelled. Cancel, 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 cancel! Ah! 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 Oh my god, what? A kill! Not a cancel. Astrea slipping up a little bit. Astrea actually going home with his carriers? Oh no, there's no anti-air here. The Vipers can just go in and yoink. And here we go, they go in and they yoink. Oh god. Okay, now he has to be careful. The High Templar are here as well, ready to feedback. Meanwhile, the cannons have finished up. Ooh, nice damage. Solid position here for Astrea. I guess he didn't want the shield battery there? Question mark? Ah, it was in the way of the Nexus. Makes sense, makes sense. Astrea is coming back with his carriers. Again, right now was a vulnerable moment for Astrea, with only High Templar and Disruptors here, but Sola didn't siege it. He didn't seize the opportunity. Instead, he's going for a bit of a counter attack. But there's no base here, so Astrea should be fine. Ultra upgrades are finishing up. Again, I feel like eventually he wants to get rid of these lurkers and replace them with ultras. Meanwhile, we have a big run by here. Ooh, one High Templar for free. A second? No. Solo backs off, realizing that the carriers are here. Meanwhile, ooh, storms are landing on the Corruptors, softening them up. And there we go. As lurkers fall, ultras are made. And ideally, we see ultras, corruptors, vipers. Gotta get out of this Hydra lurker. Get him out of here. Do we have a Greater Spire? We do. We do. Okay, okay. So Broodlords could come out as well. Broodlords have their place. Honestly, Broodlord here would be amazing. Like, 4 Broodlords laying siege would just be so good. So good for Solar right now. He'd have a much easier time with them instead of these lurkers. But unfortunately, he is not going for the Broodlords. He's going for the Ultras instead. Which aren't a bad choice, but it does feel like Broodlords would do just so well here. Especially because there are no Void Rays as well, right? Well, now there are, I guess. I guess now there are, but earlier, I mean. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed that Astrea has been able to defend 2 places at once. But it does mean that both places are relatively weak in comparison, and maybe Solar can take advantage of that. Alright, here we go. He's hunting, he's looking for those carriers, but Astrea is doing a very good job at just turtling up on all these bases. Astrea has a massive bank. I feel like at a certain point Astrea should just like push forward with his carriers, right? Like there's honestly there's not that much here. We'll see. Here come the Lings and the Ultras, just taking a little bit more damage. I don't know how I feel about this one. Disruptor shots are going off. I believe all the lurkers have been taken out. There we go. Finally, Broodlords are on the way. Solo, listening to the stream, Kappa. It took a long time though. Meanwhile, the Hydras are being thrown away. Again, Solar, he needed to get rid of these a while ago. At least they are finding some damage. At the same time, these disruptors are slowly pushing through the Spore Forest. We do have Infestors on the way, which is pretty interesting. Infestors would be pretty good. Again, Fungal, Parasitic Bomb, in conjunction, joined together, can deal a lot of damage. I do still think these Broodlords should be on the other side of the map. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential for those Broodlords, but they're just not here. And Astrea, he's slowly chipping away at the bases of Solar. More Ultras go down. Like, Astrea's just been so cost efficient. Another Ultra's gonna fall. Just barely saved. Still a bunch of Hydras here to throw away. Here we go. Broodlord Infestor, let's go. Please expand more. I mean, there are a couple of bases to take, I guess. Ooh. But Expand gets taken out. And Solar, he could totally expand here. Astrea could expand here. There we go. The map is being split in half. One High Templar just went down to a Queen. High Templar's on A move. Oh no, no, High Templar, please! No! Oh my god, all 4 High Templar go down. And they are not remade. This is a little bit dangerous. Okay, there we go, there we go. High Templar being morphed in. Warped in. There they are. 4 High Templar. Alright, well everyone, strap yourselves in, get some water, get some coffee, because we're going to be here for a while. The map is officially split in half. Other than this space. We're getting there, we're getting there. I'm surprised by the lack of creep spread, to be honest. Even though Astrea hasn't been actively stopping the creep, it just hasn't been spread. And a lot of that has to do with these queens. Finally, mate, yo, queens, you got a lot of work to do. Get over there. Spread that goddamn creep. Meanwhile, base goes down. Solar completely out of position. Finally, the corruptors do respond. And we'll see how this engagement goes. There's a lot of units to feedback. Solar, does he have Neural Parasite? He does. Racer Microbial Shroud. But ideally, what you do here is in the engagement, you Parasitic Bomb the Void Rays or the carriers. You Neural Parasite the carriers as well. Make them one of your own. Waste some energy there. And then you just take the fight, right? You know, turn half the carriers on your opponents, and you got this. Problem is, Astrea also has some moves of his own. He has plenty of High Templar. These High Templar, their goal is to storm and feedback. More importantly, feedback all of these high energy units. Disruptors, I feel like the disruptors don't need to be here. Ooh, nice feedbacks on both of the Vipers. Ay, ay, ay. And now we have Tempests. I don't think the Tempests are necessary, to be honest. I feel like Void Rays would do a little bit better, but you do you, Astrea. Astrea, you do you. Meanwhile, alright, we got probes going across the map. Gonna trade as best they can. And now, I think Solar has the army he wants. I do think that Astrea needs to get rid of these disruptors. I don't think they have much of a place in the big fight that's about to happen. I feel like replace those disruptors with Void Rays or even Tempest or High Templar, and that would be better. Even Immortal. Sorry, Archons. Archons actually would be amazing. Would be more amazing than disruptors. And yeah, we're just kind of chilling. Solar finally about to get +3. So he's going to have 3-3 for his heir. And we'll see if when he does get 3-3, that's when he decides to start being a little bit more aggressive here. This is looking disgusting though, because it didn't cost a lot for Astrea to take this base, and now he's expanding here, and he's taking it for himself. I just realized we have why is he getting extended thermal lance? Is Astrea just getting every upgrade just cause? Is that what's happening right now? Like, extended thermal lance, really? Do you foresee a situation where you need that? Okay. Suit yourself. I'm just kind of chilling for the time being. We have a spire being thrown down on the outside of the map, I guess in case it's a base trade and he loses his main base. Nice foresight. Ooh, oh my god, feedbacks do land. 2-3 infestors immediately go down. Oh, Solar, big losses. He's remaking them. Now is a decent opportunity. Sharp shots are going off. Spores are falling. Meanwhile, we had a couple of ultras doing what they can. Oh, more storms, more feedbacks. I'm having a hard time seeing how this is going to play out. Obviously, Astrea has an advantage if he fights with the stack defense, right? A lot has to go right for Solar to win this fight. Oh, losing a couple of Broodlords there. At the same time, we do have a little bit of a run by, so these Lings and Ultras are doing something. They may get cleaned up. Oh no, there's detection. Oh, High Templar! Same time, ooh, Fungals do land. Beautiful Fungals, but if the Infestors get anywhere near, they get feedbacked. Again and again. Honestly, there's barely any energy left on these Infestors. And there's zero energy left on these Vipers. And a recall is used to help defend and push away these Ultras. Nicely done. There is a bit of a gap here in the defenses, so Astrea will have to either plug this up or leave some units at home. Meanwhile, the Broodlords are now finally sieging upon the base of Astrea. Oh, he's losing a couple of Broodlords here and there, though. But the Infestor. Oracle dives in, Revelation, and then Astrea comes in with his Tempest. Did he keep those Ultras alive? He did. We have 2 random Ultras here just to go for some run bys, because why not? Ooh, Corruptors are leaving their posts. Bold move, mate. Is it gonna pay off? Let's see. He catches 2 carriers and Tempest. Yo, this is huge. At the same time, it's gonna force Astrea in. Oh my god, Disruptor shots land on all the Infestors except for one. Now it's go time. Oh, Astrea, he's forced all the way back. We have we have carriers on the way, not Void Rays. We'll see if that's gonna be worth it, because there's a lot of Corruptors here, man. It's a lot of Corruptors. Base goes down. And Astrea doesn't overextend. He takes a base and then dips out. Astrea will always be more cost efficient. He will. Like, the way that Solar would win this is if he wins a decisive fight. If Astrea overextends at any point, and he may, then Solar, he can dive in, he can neural, he can power bomb, and he can win a fight. And then maybe snowball, because it takes so much longer for a Protoss player to remax. Oh, massive fungal. The sharp shots go off. Oh, force a bunch of those Infestors back. Oh my god, the feedbacks. Ay, 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 but the High Templar all get taken out. There's still a couple of infestors left behind this. A few DTs could have cleared the ultras. Mate, there was detection. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a zealot run by. Not the biggest of deals. Corruptors. I do like this. Endangering the production of Astrea. It's pretty good, and it should force a response. There we go. Carriers and Tempests are coming back home. For sure, is pointing out, hey, he only has 2 Tempests. Sorry, 2 Vipers. Yeah, I dislike that as well. Solo often skips out on Vipers. I personally don't like it. There's a lot of value to be had with Vipers, and he just doesn't appreciate them the way he should. He does have 3 now. Does have 3. Meanwhile, the fight has kind of moved over. Oh my god, the feedbacks do land. A couple of these disruptors are out of position, but more disruptor shots go off. The Spore Force will be cleaned up. Again, Astrea, he's trading beautifully here. At the same time, he is losing a base though. Oh god, more feedbacks, more feed. Oh my god. Meanwhile, that was all of the High Templars, so if there was ever a time to come in and dive in with the Infestors, now is the time. Wow, but somehow Astrea was able to keep his base alive. Solo's just not finding the damage that he really wants to. Things come in, things step out. The lack of High Templar is really concerning to me. To be fair, there's only 1 High Templar in this main army, and Astrea is maxed out. He did not replenish his High Templar, which is a terrifying thought. High Templar are so important right now. Without High Templar, like, Solar's spellcasters could do whatever they want. Oof. Here we go. Let's dive in. Huh. 2 yoinks. Beautiful. Come on, show me them yoinks. See 1 feedback on another Infestor. Brood Lords are slowly sieging forward. I feel like maybe Solar is losing his patience a little bit. He wants to fight. And I do think he can be a little bit more aggressive here. To be fair, like, he is spending his bank, like, time after time. That bank is being spent. I got work tomorrow, but I need to see the end of the series. I mean, Astrea should be able to bring it back here. Like, this should be Astrea's game, right? Like, there's no way he throws. Like, we'll see. It's all going to come down to 1 fight. Again, I said it before. If Solar wins 1 big engagement, he can take that momentum and just keep going and kill Astrea before Astrea can remax. Just because of how slow it takes to rebuild an army after you lose it, especially a Skytos army. So if that happens, Solar could win. Otherwise, it's a slow grind, and it's a slow grind for Astrea to win. Just waiting for that 1 decisive moment. Waiting. We're on the edge of our seats. Oh! Show me the yoinks. One yoink. 2. Storm misses. Ooh, decent feedbacks. Those feedbacks will force Solar back a little bit more. He still has energy for abducts. Oh! Gets 1. Nice Falul. Nice tank of Falul. He's like, come to me. Whatever it takes. Ultras were in the main. Get cleaned up. Solo backs off. He needs to regen on that juice. He needs to suck on him with them Vipers. Yo, Astrea is so High Templar light. It's one of those things where Solo barely has any Vipers, but Astrea barely has any High Templar. Ooh, and two carries get picked up for free. Again, big wins here from Solar. He's been trading more efficiently recently. Oh my god, I spoke too soon! Ah! Mate, every single infestor goes down! Solar, please! You had this! He's making 11 infestors! Solar's bank is depleting. He's running out of money. This is gonna be it. That was a massive loss there for Solar. Alright, here we go. One Viper yoinks an Oracle. God, it's not happening, mate. Oh god. We'll see. Astrea just sending out some more of his probes just to clear out that supply. Solar is taking another base. Gets High Templar. Gotta be that energy efficient, know what I'm saying. Alright, here we go. Oh god. The feedbacks are just so good. They're just so good. Solar just can't get close. I mean, yeah, he just can't. It's just not happening. So what should I have for breakfast today? We're just kind of chilling here. The map's being mined out. There are a couple of mineral patches here, and I guess a couple here since Solar is long distance mining. This Zealot run by is actually pretty big. It does deny one of these bases, so again, Solar is running out of money. Like, things are getting pretty serious here. Solar reveals that his army is over here on the right hand side of the map, so Astrea can take this opportunity to take out some bases, and these bases are so important for Solar. These bases, these drones are so important. Solar does come back. Cleans up the Zealots. And here we go. Astrea is deep in creep, and I say deep, really I mean he's like knee deep. But Astrea backs off ankle deep even. And this is just not. Solar's like trying to find an angle. He wants to fight somewhere. There are plenty of places to siege, honestly. It's just I don't know if Solar wants to fight the Skyjust army off of creep without any stack defense, without any spores to help, you know? Oh my god, but he dives in. Does land a parasitic bomb. Overcharge is being used though to help keep everything alive. A couple of feedbacks do land, but yo, the fungals on the High Templar. Pretty big. He still has a little bit more energy for those feedbacks. Ooh, does feedback the Viper. Somehow in the middle of all that, the Vipers get feedbacked. That's crazy. As that is happening, Zealot run by kills another base. No more mining here for Solar. Solar, he's gonna do what he can with what he has. What he needs is energy on these Vipers. That's what he needs. Solar takes out a base, I guess. Not the biggest of deals. He is cutting off this army though. Like, it is kind of isolated here in the top left-hand corner of the map. So maybe Solar can make something happen here. Okay, Solar cleaning up these zealots, I guess. We'll take out another base. And here comes Astrea. Killed one hatchery, gonna kill another. We do have a decent army here, like, ready to dive in. Where are the yoinks? Puppy, where are the yoinks? Ugh, 2 more infestors go down. For those wondering if he has any warp gates, you know what? I should not show production anymore, by the way. Let's see. Structures. Oh my god. The Brood Lords! No! One of them does get picked up. Okay, the Corruptors are not too far behind. We do have 12 gateways here for Astrea. At the same time, yo, Astrea, there's nothing stopping him. He's just going out there, out into the map, taking out whatever base he can. Nice fungals once again on the High Templar, but 1 fungal is not enough. Ooh, Disruptors do land. Solar shows up to push away the army again. We're waiting for those yoinks for the abducts. Looks like he wants to fight. It's gonna be enough. It's gonna be enough. Huh. Problem is that Astrea, he just backed off all the way to his base. There we go. We have a couple of yoinks. 2 carriers go down. Oh, some wasted power bombs though. I feel like a Solar panicked a little bit there, and he wasted a lot of energy. Far too much energy. Now the Corruptors are laying siege on the newest base of Astrea. Storm misses. Yo, High Templar under threat. The Broodlings are pushing forward. Astrea is stuck in a corner. No more energy for Storm, only feedbacks. Disruptor shots go off, they do not connect. Oh, I spoke too soon. 4 infestors go down. Solar, please. But he dives in, he wants the fight. The army is cornered. Every single carrier is going to go down. He's taking a lot of damage to the Archons, to be honest, but you know what? It is far too much Zerg. Everything here for Astrea should go down. And now it's all about the Remax. Right now, Astrea has nothing in production. He has a Stargate here in the main. He's warping in a massive amount of Stalkers and High Templar. We do see Zealots are across the map and they're actually dealing a lot of damage. Oh my god, these Void Ray Zealots as well. So Astrea did lose the main army fight. Oh my god, he kept 4 carriers alive. What? How did they stay alive? They should not be alive right now. Solar, please. He didn't finish them off. Meanwhile, these Zealots have been wreaking havoc here. This army for Solar is all he has. And thankfully, Astrea had enough warp gates to remax on Stalkers. And Stalkers are going to be so good here. The Broodlords are not in position. They're going back home to defend. And as time goes on, Astrea will remax. He has the bank for it. Solar will not. So from here, even though Solar took a really good fight, it's over. There we go. Stalkers jump in. Corruptors go down. Corruptor after Corruptor. Barely any left remaining here. Only 15. Infestors can change a lot, but not when there's Storm. Not when there's High Templar. Those carriers we saw earlier may not even come into play. Where are they? Right, there they are. Okay, blinks forward, takes out 1, 2, 3. 3 Broodlords go down. We do see a bit of a decent engagement here, but there are just so many Stalkers, and the Stalkers, they kill every single Broodlord. GG gets called. Astrea finally puts a point on the board. Aye. Honestly, that was relatively close. Unfortunately, Yeah, Solar just didn't have any more money. Just ran out, mate. Ran out. I see the chat catching up. Yeah, it did come down to those Blink Stalkers. And the fact that the army was kind of split up, there weren't enough Broodlords to really protect themselves. Nothing else on the ground, no Ultras. GG. And we are diving into game number 4. Things were looking grim there for a long time. Right now, they're just talking in the chat how I think Steadfast has been streaming for 14 hours because he was streaming ESL EU straight into NA. Shout out to Steadfast for being awake this long, or for streaming this long. He's joining the club, 14-hour club. Now, I don't think I've hit 14 hours before. I've only done 12 hours of casting. Massive shout out to Steadfast. And we'll see how this goes. Astrea did ask for a break, for those wondering. I don't blame him. It was a very hard-fought, long game. So Astrea is going to the bathroom. He's also going to get some water. Gonna chill out for a little bit. Oh, what? We're back? It's very abrupt, but we are good to go. Quick game 4, no more Skytoss. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Oh, we'll see. This is Jagannatha. Jagannatha is pretty good for ground-based pushes. Let's go, Solar. Let's go. End it one way or the other. As we are going to be diving into game number 4 and spawning in the top right-hand corner. He has been on match point for a while now, especially after that very long game. We have the South Korean Zerg. He's red. He's representing Kaizi Gaming. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the NA Hope himself. He puts a point on the board. He's not going to get 3-0'd today. We have, representing Alpha X, it is Astrea. Which, for those who don't know, is star in Spanish. Astrea. The star himself, Max Angel, Maxwell Angel. What do you have in store for us here today, buddy? Are we gonna see some more Skytoss? Solar, are you gonna let the Skytoss happen? Because we've seen how he does in that situation. And what he does is die. I do think that there were probably things that Solar could have done in the previous game to make sure it didn't get, like, he wasn't in that situation. He could have been more aggressive with his Broodlords earlier on, or he could have made Broodlords earlier on as well and siege upon a couple of locations. He was going for some nice run-bys, I guess, but Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced by the Mass Infestor style. We saw how much it was struggling. I do think that instead of all of those Infestors, maybe a little bit less on the Infestors and more on the Vipers, right? You know, he relies so much on those Abducts, and because for so often he only had 2 or 3 Vipers, like, they would just get feedbacked and that would be it. If you have more Vipers, you have a higher chance of really getting through and landing those Abducts and getting some value there. It's a problem that Solar has in more than just, you know, in this matchup in general. He really doesn't invest too much in Vipers, which is a bit of a shame. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes. Here in game number 4. As once again we have a Stargate opening. This doesn't mean Skytoss. We've seen time and time again Astrea go for something else. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Glaive Adepts this game. I wouldn't mind it. It'd be a nice change of pace. You know, Glaive Adepts, they can shade across the map pretty quickly, all things considered. But we'll see what he does decide to go for in the end. He goes for a Void Ray, goes for an Oracle. As Solar, he does have some Void Rays out on the map. He also has a kind of a Ling to keep an eye on the third base. He hasn't gone in quite yet, so yeah, he's not too familiar with what the opener is. And oh, it's a Void Ray. Void Ray first, at least. Are we gonna have a Void Ray second? I hope Solar just all-ins and ends it in 5-ish minutes. I hope so too, buddy. I hope so too. Do it, Solar. Show us what you got. End it, mate. End it so I can get some breakfast and pass out. Also, I don't know if this is good or bad news. We were just notified by ESL that the ESL B stream broadcast today is going to be shorter because some of the matches had to be rescheduled. So it's I guess it's a bad thing because it means it starts later, 2 hours later than normal, which means it's going to be harder for Yaku to cast. And I really wanted Yaku to cast a little bit of ESL EU because when we cast the B stream for DreamHack EU, obviously because it's at a European time, we basically have a brand new audience who are very unfamiliar with the CranKy Ducklings, and I wanted them to experience some Yaku. I wanted them to experience some Yaku Zaku. It would be amazing. So hopefully Yaku can stay up long enough for it. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But we'll see. Even if it's just for a series or 2. That is what I'm hoping for. Meanwhile, Astrea did go for a Stargate after this. I quickly checked the units. Yep, he did go for an Oracle. So far hasn't been able to deal any damage with it. And from here, are we going to go Blink Stalker +1 or Charge Lot +1? Let's find out. The Adepts do shade in, get a couple of worker kills, but they will get cleaned up. Ooh, interesting. We have a Dark Shrine. And Astrea tried to pull this off in one of the previous games against Solar. I think it was game 1 or game 2. And the last time this happened, Solar got in with an Overseer and he saw the Dark Shrine. And then because he saw it, Astrea cancelled said Dark Shrine. But so far, Solar hasn't gone anywhere near the main base with his Overlord. Not in a while anyway. Yeah, not at all. He hasn't scanned the main base at all. He knows it's Stargate Opener, but that's kind of it. Meanwhile, yo, Solar is sending it. He's going for the Queen Road Travager push. I love it. Massive shout out to Solar. These DTs, they could be key here in the defense, especially if there's no detection. Warp in a couple of DTs and boom, you're set. You're good to go. And Solar doesn't have any detection. He doesn't have a lair. DTs are all you need. All they have to do is dodge the biles. And Astrea wins. He holds. Here we go. Dark Shrine is about to finish up. Show us those DTs. It's all you need, mate. It's all you need. Here we go. DTs are being morphed in. 4 currently on the way. The DTs will reveal themselves. And immediately, Lair starts. Oh my god, speaking of Lair, a massive stasis ward in the main base, another stasis ward in the natural. And Astrea, he holds off of pure Dark Shrine. Everything gets cleaned up. All the queens go down. Solar is forced back home, and those DTs will chase him all the way back home. GG gets called as he was all in, and Astrea takes it to the ace match. Is the reverse sweep happening? Is it happening, people? Is Max Angel going to pull it off? I can't wait for chat's reaction. Oh my god. Alright, we're getting ready for game number 5, the ace match. This is where it all comes to a close. One person will be the victor, the other will walk away as only the runner-up. Who's it gonna be? This is it, game 5. The grand finals of ESL Open Cup number 72 Americas, and here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Blackburn ALE. We have the South Korean Zerg player. He's red. He's been on match point for a while now, for over an hour, but he just hasn't been able to close it out. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackburn ALE, we have the NA Hope himself, representing America and Alpha X. He's the blue Protoss. He is Astrea. Winning off of the back of those Dark Templar. Solar, he took a risk, and he may be taking, is he gonna take the gold? No, never mind. I was hoping he would. Just takes the regular, unnatural, natural, if you will. Forced away by that probe. Makes me sad. Solar forgot Lair, made it late, cancelled it, went Stinghurch instead, then tried to make it again. It looks like it was intentional though. He started the Lair and then he cancelled it because he was, I'm pretty sure he was faking out his opponent because the Oracle came in and saw it, which would mean that it probably wouldn't have been like a big Roach Queen timing. So I'm pretty sure like the cancel was intentional. And it being late was intentional. He just wasn't expecting DTs. If it was anything but DTs, then Solar may have just ended the game. But we'll see. We'll see where we go from here. As Astrea will most likely open up with the Stargate. So we have to talk about Blackburn. It's been a while since we've been on this map. I think we've only casted this map once, maybe twice today. It's not a very popular map, but in best of fives we do see it, and it has a very short resistance by ground. So if Solar wanted to go for another Roach Ravager Queen push, honestly, he could pull it off. He could pull it off on a map like this. It can be very difficult to hold as a Protoss player. It depends though. It depends where the Protoss player decides to hold. It depends if they try and take a third base behind it or not. Again, those pushes can be very strong here. On the flip side, there's a gold base. Zerg players can take full advantage of that. And oh my, interesting. Astrea mixing things up, going for a Robo first. Wow. Are we going to see some fast disruptors? So with the Robo first, we will most likely see a fast Warp Prism. With that fast Warp Prism, we're probably going to get a wave of upgradeless gateway units. So we're going to see some pressure come out from Astrea, and off of this you can go into a fast robotic spate. you know, to go into those Colossus or Disruptors. Meanwhile, ooh, it gets scattered by a Slowling. The Slowling gets in, it gets past everything because there was nothing there, and he does see, meanwhile, on the outside of the map, 2 Adepts do get across the map, but they find nothing. Nothing at all. Nice scout there by Solar. He should be aware of what's coming his way. There is the Warp Prism to come across the map. And again, I'm really curious, are we going to see that Robotics Bay? Haas did this earlier today. For those of you who were with us for Haas' series against Solar, Haas beat Solar with this build where he would go for a fast Robo Bay and into fast Disruptors. He also lost against Solar doing this build. So Haas had mixed results with it. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's a little bit too late for the Robo Bay now, so it probably isn't going to be the case. It may be because the Robo was scattered earlier that maybe he decided not to go for it. But yeah, at the moment he's just kind of chilling out here with a couple of gateway units. And we'll see where Astrea goes from here. Ooh, he starts Immortal production. Okay. Okay, I see you. Interesting. So he's going to be going for a bit of a Soul Train. Parting was here earlier, and Astrea did beat Parting, so maybe he was able to take some of his essence, if you will, with him. As this is going to be a pretty strong attack. The problem is, I don't really like this. Oh, never mind. Double Stargate behind this. Oh my god. Okay. So I imagine this War Prism is going to come back home and pick up those Immortals, right? There's going to be 2 of them. We'll see. And now he's just distracting the army, you know, hey, look over here, I have a couple of Adepts. Hey, look over there, I have some Immortals. When really, bam! Double Stargate comes in with Void Race. And if Solar's aggressive, mate, those Void Rays are going to do so well defensively. I believe it. Oh my god, it's not Void Ray, it's Phoenix. Oh my god. I'm not feeling so hot about the Phoenixes, but okay, I see you. Like, especially if, because right now Solar's staying on Roach Ravager Ling. I don't know if Phoenixes are the most ideal unit to help defend against that sort of thing. Void Rays would have been a little bit better there, but you know, to be fair, if Solar is passive, then yo, those Phoenixes, they can potentially find a lot of damage. You know, you can dive in, you can CC the Ravagers, you can focus down Queens, you can get Overlord kills, you can get Worker kills. The Phoenixes are already going across the map. Only 2 of them so far though. Not too fond of that. Phoenixes reveal themselves. Solar, I imagine, is going to expand off of this. And we have a Hydra Den on the way. Hydra Den is about to finish up, so we're going to see Hydras pop out soon for Solar to help shut down these Phoenixes. I say that, but Solar's actually supply blocked. Oh, a lot of damage done on the Phoenixes already. Almost loses 1. And I mean, he's trying to find some damage, but oh my god, oh, almost loses 1 Phoenix again. Meanwhile, 2 Adepts do shade in. He confirms that the gold base is being taken. These Phoenixes are not doing much here. Bring out the Mutas. Yo, Solo would be crazy if he whips out the Mutas. But yeah, I'm honestly a little bit perplexed as well. Like, this is interesting. It does get scouted. We have 5 Immortals. We have a bunch of Phoenixes. A bit of a Ling run by, but we do have a Warpin at home. We should have a War Prism as well, and this is a really unorthodox push. Is it gonna be enough? Is this gonna work for Astrea? He doesn't have a lot of gateway units, and that's what I'm worried about. And yo, the Lings are coming for a wraparound. Oh no, Astrea, please! Oh god, the Immortals, they're going down. There's no War Prism to help Micro. The War Prism, what are you doing? Get in there, pick them up, save the Immortals! Warps in instead, and the Immortals will fall. 4 Immortals remaining. 3. soon to be 2. We have a Warprint of Zealous, but these are charged less. There was no Twilight Council, no upgrades. And I thought it was cute. You know, it was a very off-balance attack from Astrea, but, you know, he thought that Solo was going to be off-balance, but it really was Astrea. As he manages to escape with 3 Immortals. Decent micro, but the Immortals are falling. They're taking a lot of damage here, and Solar, he is just running away with this game. A solid question mark on what Astrea was going for there. He was going for a bit of, I think maybe just GG gets called. I think maybe Astrea's brain melted a little bit after that long, like 30-40 minute macro game, and this is what came out. GG. Congratulations, Solar. He is our ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. Congratulations. Astrea, I'm trying to think if maybe if he had the War Prism there, maybe he would have been better off. Maybe if he wasn't forced to warp in defensively at home, he would have been better off. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting to say the least. Congratulations, Solar. Well played, well deserved. He was up 2-0. He almost got reverse swept, and that's the worst feeling in the world. It's the worst. You don't want to be reverse swept like that. So he does stop it. Astrea put up a very good fight. He almost brought it back there, but just wasn't enough there towards the end. And yeah, congratulations to Solar for being our champion. Shout out to everyone in the chat who stuck around with us as well, by the way. There was a lot of English coverage for this broadcast. You know, Rotterdam was here, Pig was here, Chicken Man, Steadfast, Jim Rising in Spanish. So I appreciate everyone for sticking around and supporting the channel. Definitely. Shout out to everyone who subscribed as well. We did get a couple of subs throughout the broadcast. Thank you so much. Even got a couple of bits. And with that, that is the end of our broadcast for the night. Let's quickly show the schedule, as I'm pretty sure this isn't showing everything. Yeah, it isn't really. This is last week's schedule, but for those who are curious, let me just fix this, because it's no longer at 1 AM. It is 1, 2, 3. So, DreamHack EU does start in 9 hours, but the B stream doesn't go live until 11 hours. So, in 11.5 hours, I will be casting, hopefully with Yakuzaku, and we'll be covering the B stream for DreamHack EU today. The main stream will start a little bit earlier, so obviously be sure to tune in to DreamHack. DreamHack is the biggest event for all StarCraft players out there. And yeah, today is also the very first day for DreamHack NA. It's going to start with EU for the first 4 hours, and then after EU, NA will start. NA, of course, it will include players like Astrea, like Neeb, Scarlet, Patty Mac, Trigger, Pure Legacy, Jon Snow, Epic, Vindicta, and Future. And a couple of others. M. Canning, how can I forget the Canning? But yes, a lot of NA representation is going to be there. Not that much Zerg. There are only 3 Zerg players in the event. That is Scarlet, Namshar, and Jon Snow. So not that much Zerg, mainly Protoss and mainly Terran. So I hope you want some of that PvT and PvP, because there's going to be a lot of PvPs. There's a group full of Protoss. It's crazy. So yeah, I hope you do tune in for that at some point, especially because, again, the B stream for ESL can be a little bit intimidating. We're kind of here in like a safe space in the CranKy Ducklings Twitch channel. I'm going to the B stream. You know, there's a lot of people who don't know us at all and have never heard of us. So yeah, we would appreciate if you guys drop by, you know, to help support and so we can see some familiar faces in the chat, get some discussions going. But yeah, until then, we are done for now. Thank you so much, Milk and Cookies, for joining me for the majority of the broadcast. He was my co-caster for the first half, and then he tagged out. He had to go to work. He will be casting ESL DreamHack NA with me as later on. He's going to tag out with tag out with Yaku. So he will be joining me for that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure you're well aware that whenever I cast with Milk, it's very fun. It's very laid back. It's very chill. We don't take things too seriously, and I don't know if that's what is ideal for a DreamHack B stream. So we're probably going to tone it back a little bit more and try and be a little bit more analytical. Try and be a little bit more professional. So yeah, we'll do our best there. Obviously, we've been doing the B stream for a long time now. It's just recently we're doing it for EU and NA. Last year, we were the B stream for Oceania, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong. And that's pretty easy just because we are very familiar with those scenes. And again, like even the people of that time zone, they're very familiar with us as well. But for EU, like we very rarely are live at an EU-friendly time. So yeah, it's just a completely different audience. And that's what makes it intimidating. But yeah, thank you everyone for dropping by. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the support, all the love. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. And we will see you, hopefully, in 11 hours. Gotta be up in 4.5 hours. Haven't pulled an all-nighter since I was 22. I haven't pulled an all-nighter in a long time either. It's been years. It's been years. But yes, thanks everyone for dropping by. Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and we will see you next time. Ciao.